Hello and welcome back to Above the Noise. It is just Christy Wilson today, and I am excited to be with you for a short session wherein we're going to cover a couple of different things surrounding the sales process. And one of the things that I've been noticing when working with new clients coming on is the fact that we are letting AI take over so many pieces of our marketing, of our sales, and it is actually sabotaging our marketing efforts. So I know everybody probably was just like, forget it. No, Christy, AI is the answer to everything. It automates things. It saves so much time. And you are absolutely right. It does. And I love AI for that purpose. AI has a purpose at the stage it's at now. Am I saying that 3 years in the future, it won't be able to do more? Absolutely not. It's growing daily. But what we've done is we've used AI as this magic wand fix, and we've now substituted out the main driver of sales, which is more conversations, right? More conversations leads to more sales. When people say, how do I get more sales? The super simplified answer is to have more conversations. Now, how you engage in those conversations, how those conversations flow, how you attain the leads to be able to connect with and then start those conversations, that is all part of your marketing. But when it comes to actual sales, it's very simple, right? You have more conversations and that leads to more sales. Right? So it's not rocket science. It is simple. Now, the techniques and the methods to get to that might be a little more complicated, but it boils down to the more conversations you have, the more sales you're able to close. So what's happening that I'm seeing with a lot of our newer clients coming on is that they've had agencies helping them, or maybe they're using AI, and AI is great, and it's great for idea generating. It's great for assisting with targeting. It's great for automation. It's great for research. What it's not great at is having a human conversation, and it is getting better. However, it is not at a point, or it is not at the stage where it can interact like a human would. I'm sorry. It does very well, and there are programs out there that humanize it more, but it is never going to be like talking, I should say never. Right now, it's not going to be like speaking with a human, because I'm sorry. When I see, messaging, ad copy, just overall scripts people are reading, or they're talking to the screen, and I hear things like, to unleash your full this and that. I don't know about you. I don't really talk to my clients that way. I don't talk to potential clients that way. I don't tell them we're going to boost this and unlock this and unleash their full potential. I just don't. I was on with a client this morning, or they're now a client. I was on with somebody this morning, and we were talking about what they're currently doing with their marketing and their messaging, and just they didn't understand, why some of it wasn't working. They're getting a lot of interest and a lot of clicks, but no booked appointments. So we really shared screens to break down what their funnel process looks like, what piece was working, what piece isn't, where the holes are. And so while doing that, I told him that same thing, and we were laughing, but I said, honestly, you wouldn't talk to someone like that. You wouldn't go up to somebody and start having a conversation, be like, that's right, come to us because we're going to unleash your full potential. So he's going to look at me and say, what in the world is this woman's problem? So anyhow, point is, when I'm talking with this gentleman, we're having a normal back and forth conversation. And a lot of times AI is really great with data collection and gathering and automation, saving time. I love that. But it's not always going to get it right with what keeps somebody up at night. So for example, when you are creating, a subject line, when you're creating messaging, a lot of people say, but it's too hard. I have to have AI do it because I don't know what to say. Well, in reality, you could do some research by, again, conversations, the key, by understanding what the potential client's challenges are. What are their problems that keep them up at night, or what do they think their problems are, right? So that's step one, is identify what are the top problems, right? And then from there, what are solutions you can offer for those problems? What will solve those problems for them? Can you do that? Okay. And then you're going to also look to shift their perspective. Now, why would you do that? Because when we are looking at a problem, a lot of times, especially if it's ours, we have that narrow vision, right? Tunnel vision. And so we're looking at this problem and we've obviously tried different things and they're not working. We're in our little tunnel trying all these things around the tunnel, but they're not working. So what we need is outside perspective and somebody who can kind of turn our head to look outside the tunnel and say, oh, we have this big radius of solutions that we can be pulling from. Here's what I didn't think of before. Here's why I was looking at it like this. I wasn't looking at it from that angle. I didn't look at it from that lens. And a lot of people will say, well, Christy, without AI, how do you know what that is? Well, you stick yourself in the person's shoes, right? You look at it through their lens. So for example, I'm conversing with this gentleman this morning, learning just a little bit about him and what they're doing. And so the conversation flowed naturally, right? Because the questions just came when I'm looking at solving a problem. Okay, his problem is, and we found out up front, I'm getting some attention on my ads and things, but I'm not getting enough leads. Our sales process is really strong. We close 90% of qualified people we get on the phone, right? So it's not a hole over here in the sales process. We're getting a lot of clicks. We're getting a lot of interest. They're coming to the page, but nobody is in this middle area actually filling out information and moving forward, right? So there's our hole. We've identified the hole. And so by talking with him, it was just natural to identify that piece and then talk about some different solutions or looking at it a little bit differently and say, here, put yourself in this person's shoes. They saw something that hooked them in, right? You had a great hook, great headline, some good messaging. It interested them. It's something that they're interested in because it solves a problem, gives them the outcome they want, whatever it is. They wanted that. But when they got there, they now have to fill out a form. There's a lot of information, first of all, that they're reading. People, they don't have time. They're scrolling. I don't want to read this big 20 paragraph thing. I don't want to fill out all this information and give all this to you and then have somebody call me and now it's going to be a sales process and now it's going to be pushy and I'm going to be obligated and my time's short. We have to remember to actually step into somebody else's shoes, right? Look at it through their lens in order for us to shift our perspective. And we're going to look at it as what would be easier for the person who saw this and they were interested in it. They had this problem. This may solve it. They're interested. What can we do at this stage when they arrive to make it even easier? Can they just book a call direct with me? Can they ask a question? Can they grab a rapid resource, a rapid results resource, right? That gives them a really quick little win, something that solves one of the problems, something that's very valuable. I'm not talking about just a lead magnet you put up there just to grab emails and it's generic and AI wrote it. Here we go again. I'm talking about when you actually solve a little mini problem, can you have that solution documented in something super simple, super easy to read through in a few minutes, start applying it right away and start seeing results very quickly? Because what does that do? Well, it opens up the door for you to now reach out to that person and say, hey, I saw you grab this. Did you try it? What worked? Did it work for you? How's it working? Do you have any questions? Anything that isn't working for you? And that does what? It starts a conversation. And that conversation can now have an opportunity to convert into a sale. More conversations. AI, I feel, is providing a really fantastic opportunity to provide you with a differentiating edge, to provide us with that market dominating position. And what is that? It's that humanized touch. We don't just give you the standard template. We don't just talk to you through an AI-driven message. No, when I respond, I might have AI automation to send out 5,000 messages on this platform. But when someone responds, I'm responding back. I'm having a conversation. AI is great at driving things to a conversation. And then from there, if you have that humanized touch and you're able to stand out from your competitors because you're not speaking the exact same terms and language they are, you're not offering the exact same thing, you are not doing exactly what everybody else out there is doing, you sound different, it grabs attention, it's a pattern interrupter, and that is going to be a huge opportunity. AI is creating a huge opportunity for you to create your own little market dominating position, for you to create your differentiating edge, right? And so that's what we discussed this morning. This now client is onboarding. We discussed how to adjust messaging, how to adjust the experience, shift our perspective so that we're looking at it through people who are actually interacting and what experience would they want, what would facilitate things moving forward in the easiest fashion, simplistic, and what speaks to them in their language, right? So AI unknowingly, while it's wonderful in some areas, it is, if you're using it, if you're overusing it, let's say that. If you're overusing it, then you are probably just joining the sea of competitors and you will not stand out. And it is actually sabotaging your marketing efforts, all the dollars you're putting in, all the effort, all the time. Same with your content. If you are reading a script from AI, you sound like everybody else out there who's reading the same script from AI. Sure, it might be slightly different, but it's all the same. But if you come across and you sound different than the others, and you're able to connect and converse and problem solve and map out an actual roadmap to the solution, well, guess what? You're going to demonstrate your ability to multiply that, to amplify that if they work with you. And guess what? I don't assume the sale. I don't ask for the sale. I actually just have a conversation. I problem solve. I then provide the free value, and then I 90% of the time have the other person ask me, how do I work with you? When can we get started? What's the next step? I'd like to move forward with this. So Christy, this makes sense to me. What do you think about this? Let me give you that. Okay. Can you do that for me? I very rarely have to ask for a sale. And to be honest with you, even if they don't say that, I wrap up by offering additional value and next steps from there. So I do have a call to action. I do have an ask in there, but it's not your standard ask that you're going to be taught in a sales class. So remember that a huge opportunity that's sitting out there for you right now is to be different. And because everybody else is the same and swimming in the same sea, right? All these fish in the same sea, you have the ability to stand out from that school of fish by taking your messaging, your communication to a more personal level. And you're saying, well, I don't have time for that. Again, conversations lead to more sales. You can have a team helping you. I have a team that helps me. But letting AI drive everything, I feel that right now that is a big mistake that many people are making in the marketing world, in the service-based world, in the business world. And it is creating an opportunity for those of us that are not going to do that and are going to focus on the right way to create messaging that speaks to people, that connects with people, the right way to open up conversations, the right way to flow through those discovery calls or conversations, problem solve, offer the free value, offer your help, serve the other person. And from there, you are going to see more sales, or at least I am. I see 80 and 90% conversion rates. Yes, that's right. And I see many, many more clients onboarding with us from a simple conversation rather than from AI-driven ads. So that's my tip for the day. My tip is that take a look at what you're doing marketing-wise for your business, because it is possible that fantastic AI is sabotaging your marketing efforts and draining your marketing dollars. And you have a way to fix it, and you have a way to carve out your market dominating position, your differentiating edge, and your ability to surpass your competition. Until next time, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you on the next episode of Above the Noise.